Hello! In this video, we'll be going over the expectations for your space race project. So, in this project, you guys will be working in groups of 4. And each one of you is going to be doing a different element for each of the modules that you guys will be completing. So, during this project, there are a total of 4 modules, which we'll go over here in a second. And each module has 3 elements that you guys will need to complete before moving on to the next module. And my expectations for you is that each one of you will have completed one of the different elements for each of the different modules. So, for example, one of the elements that you will be doing is a free body diagram. Okay, I don't want one person doing all of the free body diagrams. I want each of you to do one of the free body diagrams for a module. Okay, and that's going to be the same for the other elements. So, you guys will also be needing to do a digital design element. Okay. This element is going to be a specific aspect that you guys are researching. So if you're researching the body, you're going to be doing a calculation element. Okay, and this is the part where you'll be using the physics equations that we've been learning all semester to explain why the different elements of your rocket work the way they do. Okay, and then finally, you guys will all be working together to assemble an infographic. Now, this infographic is going to be part physics explanation, but also part assembly instructions for your rocket. Your goal is, by the end of this, is someone should be able to read your infographic and then be able to recreate your building process of your rocket and see the physics explanation for each of the elements of your rocket. Okay? So the points break down. You guys will each be getting 50 points for your free body diagram that you do. Okay? And again, each of you is going to be doing a different free body diagram from one of the modules. You will also be receiving 50 points from one of the calculations section. Okay, so again, each one of you should be doing one of the calculations for one of the modules. You'll be receiving 50 points for doing your digital creation. Okay, so you're going to need to include things like the material list again, all right, and then procedure. Okay, and then you as a whole will work together to coordinate and create an infographic. All right, and again, that's that direction sheet that's going to include the physics explanations of your rocket. Okay, and then you will also be receiving 50 points just for turning things in by their due dates. Okay, so we'll be checking in every once in a while, and I need to have those modules done on time so that you guys can finish your project and we can get this all done by the end of the year. So the progression. Okay, you're going to want to start with the payload module. Okay, you want to complete that before you move on to the body, and then to propulsion and recovery, and then finally you will end with your infographic. Now, the reason why we're going to go in that order is in order to build the body of your rocket, you need to know what it's going to be housing. You need to know the dimensions of your payload compartment so you know how big your body has to be. Okay, then you have to wait to do propulsions until after you have your payload and body done, because you need to know what the mass of your rocket's going to be before you can figure out what force you need to lift it off the ground. Okay, and then finally recovery. Again, you're going to need to know the mass of your payload and body before you can figure out what kind of recovery method you're going to use to get your rocket safely back to the ground. Okay, and obviously the infographic is last because you need to compile all of the elements from the first 4 modules in order to create your infographic. All right, with that in mind, you guys should be able to get started. Just go to my website and you'll look under the Space Race Project, and that is where you will begin.